Hi guys, I'm excited for this video today because I'm gonna give you an entire lineup on all things brushes. What to use for what? Why do I need that? Everything you can think of when it comes to brushes. So stick around as I show you what are my favorite brushes and what I use on myself and on my clients. All right, let's start off with the first brush. But before I do that, when you apply your primer or your moisturizer before you start your makeup, just use your fingers. I mean, if you want to be fancy, you can totally use a brush, but I like to use my fingers, so I don't have a brush for skin prep. Okay, now I'm going to go in with foundation application. I love the Morphe M439. It's just fluffy. It's a perfect buffer blending brush. And I love to apply my foundation and blend it everywhere, like literally get every single area, my neck, by my ears. I don't put anything underneath my eyes because I have the concealer do that. But just spread it around everywhere, giving it one even tone. And then after I'm done evening it out, I'm not really worried about covering up any blemishes because I do this after I'm done doing that. And I'm going to show you how. After you even out your face with foundation with this brush, I put like half of a pump more, and then I just stipple it into the areas that need a little bit more love. So then I'm not giving myself a full coverage everywhere. It's just in the areas that need love. So that's why I say, start off with this, apply it everywhere, get the color everywhere, and then go back in with more foundation in just the areas that need a little bit more coverage, and you stipple it just like this. I just love using a brush. It's just so much better, so much easier. Now, the one thing that I use a sponge for, because I do use a sponge, is my concealer. And I love the Paw Paw ones from Amazon. They're amazing. And I always wet my brush before applying concealer on. And this is what it looks like if you don't. It just looks dry like this, and then this is wet. So there's a huge difference. It's just super squishy, super bouncy, and I use this for concealer, just like this. And it just applies so smooth and so nice and so quick. Okay, so that is what I use for foundation and concealer. Now, if you were going to use cream contour or liquid contour, I love this brush from Sephora. It's the 47. And you just pick up a little bit of like liquid bronzer or cream, like I said, and I melt it on the back of my hand first. I don't just like apply it on my face because I find like you're gonna be doing this. So I like to melt it on my hand and control where it goes and how much. And I just press it on the areas where I'm going to contour, which is high cheekbones, forehead, chin. So love, love, love this. And I also use this for blush application, the cream or the liquid. And I do the same thing, apply it on the back of my hand and press it into your cheeks like this. So you can use it for both, for bronzer and for blush. Or sometimes I also apply my cream blush with a sponge. So you could use the back of this and you can apply your cream or liquid blush just like that, and it's perfect for it, and it's super bouncy. Okay, so after doing that, if you are going to do contour on your nose, I love using this Luxie nose contour brush. It's so bad. Can you tell this has been used and abused? I bought about like 7 or 8 of these. So I use this to contour my nose. So just pretend this is like a cream or a liquid, and I just blend it in, and you literally just put it on the sides of your nose just like that. It's like the perfect size, perfect little size to get into the pockets that you need it to for your nose. So I use that for the cream and for the liquid. And if you want to set that with with bronzer, I like using this 286 brush from MAC, and this is only going to be for the powder, just like this, just like that. So we're going to use that. Now, if you are going to set underneath your eyes or set all over your face, I don't ever use a brush. I love using a puff, so much better. So I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna put some, oh, it's brand new. I just bought the Morphe setting powder. This is one for my kit. I bought one for myself first because I had to try it out to make sure it was good, and it is so good. I love it so much. So let's say you pick up some powder, right? Let me do this so I could take some out. Okay. So you get your little puff, get some on the back of your, get some on your puff, put it on the back of your hand. So I melt it like this first, so then I won't have like a glob of powder underneath my eye. And then I am going to press it underneath my eyes. I already have makeup on, so I don't want to do it, but I'm going to show you an example of what to do. So you just place it underneath your eyes like this. And then if you want to use this for powder on your face, this is the best thing rather than a powder brush. I just feel like you get more coverage. It's just easier. So let's pretend this is a compact. I use this and I press it into my skin like that, and it gives you just way more coverage and it just looks flawless. So I love using this to set. Okay. So that's that. Amazon as well, so great. Now, if you are going to set your cream or liquid bronzer, I'm going to use an angled brush. It's an angled blush brush, but I love to use it for bronzer and blush. So I love how it has like a little like tip here, because this is my guide. This is where I start it. The point will always be at the end, no matter what side I do. And I do it on the sides of my face, on my forehead, on my chin. It's great. And then if I do blush, apply it on the apples of the cheeks like this and pressing it in. It's just the perfect size. This is the Morphe E4. If you find these, please tag me, because my gosh, I have not been able to find these anywhere. I bought like 7 of them, but I need more. But I just wanted to show you guys, like, this is what your brush should look like if you do want to get a bronzer or blush brush. Just make sure that it's angled. I find that it's so much easier. Okay, now this is a little nice to have brush. This is the Morphe M510. The reason why I like to use a highlighter brush is because if I use something like this, it's gonna get everywhere, and I don't want my whole cheek to be shimmery. I just want the high points of my face to be a little highlighted and dewy. So I use a highlighter brush because it's the perfect size and it gets into those little areas that you need it to. So this is a great highlighter brush. So it's nice to have. You don't need to have it, but it totally makes a difference. Okay, so those were all of my face products that I use, okay? These were all it right here, along with the puff and the sponge. Now I'm gonna move over to eye brushes. Now these eye brushes are great. I'm gonna use a flat 242 brush from MAC. It looks like that. It's just a flat one. And the reason why I like to use something flat like this rather than something fluffy is because I have more control. It's not going to like leave any dust particles of the shadow because it's so fluffy. So I love to use this for eyeshadow primer. Like if you use like a cream or a liquid, it's great to just apply it all over your eyelid. And I use this also to pick up eyeshadow. So it literally picks up such a good amount. So when you do put it on, I'm gonna use the other side. I don't want the shadow to fall on my eyelashes. I just press it into my eyelid just like this. So you have more control, there's more pigmentation. I just love using a flat brush like this for eyeshadow. Okay, so that's the first one. So for primer and for the lid color on your eyes. Now moving on to the crease brush. I love the 224 from MAC. It's just a fluffy little egg, and you apply it right here where your crease is. It's just the perfect size, so I love using this. By the way, thank you Creative Beauty Co for sponsoring this video. If you are in the Arizona area and you are wanting to know how to do makeup on yourself, I offer private one-on-one hands-on makeup lessons as well as master classes for aspiring makeup artists and makeup artists, or if you are just needing an artist for special events or your special wedding day, I am your girl. Hit the link below to contact me. Let's just say you are going to apply a smoky eye. So I always go in with something a little bit smaller. This is a 221 from MAC as well. As you can see, this one's just a lot more fluffier. This is a lot more skinnier. The reason why I like to use the smaller one is if I'm doing a smoky eye, I want more control. So instead of going in with like a black or a brown and letting it go everywhere because it's so fluffy, you have more control for this small one. So I just use this for like the ends right here. It's great. Okay, now this is being a little bit more advanced here. I like this 219 bullet brush from MAC. So if you're gonna go in on an eyeshadow look and do more of a smoky eye, you can pick up a little bit of this and literally press it right at the very end of your eye and make like a little greater than, and you're just picking up the product and placing it there just so that little area can get even more pigmented, and then you use this to diffuse it. And this area will be a lot more deeper than the crease. So that is why I like to use that placement brush there. So these three are like my smoky eye crease friends. If you want to see my how to create a smoky eye, a dramatic smoky eye, I have a video on it. So take a look so you can have a little bit more better explanation on how I use these three. Okay, now for underneath my eyes to apply a little bit of shadow, I love this 239 brush, which looks like this. It's a little bit more fluffier, and it's just a perfect size to apply shadow right underneath my lash line. And if you wanted to get a little bit more like deeper and more pigmented with shadow application underneath there, I like using this little 212 paintbrush, and you pick some up and you can kind of give yourself like a little liner like application under here, or just make it a lot more pigmented and then just use this to kind of diffuse it. So I like to use this when I'm doing like a smoky eye, or if I want a little bit more drama underneath my lash line. Now, almost done, guys. We're almost to the finish line here. I'm gonna use an angled brush from MAC 263. If you have not gotten the picture, I love MAC brushes. I'm an OG MAC brush girl. I find that these are just the best. So I literally have been having these for years. They're amazing. So I'm using an angled brush like this, and this is what I use to apply like my eyebrow shadow on my eyebrows. I use this for eyeliner sometimes, for like gel or liquid, which leads me to this brush here, which is the Morphe M250. It's super thin. It's like literally so thin. And some people use an angled brush to apply eyeliner. Some people use a thin brush. It's just whatever's easiest for you. I just find that I have like hooded eyes. So I like to have a little bit more control and have it be a little bit more thinner. So I find like I could do a thinner line with this brush. So I love using this one for gel or liquid liner, but either one will work just fine, just your preference. And then last but not least, to give me a little highlight underneath my eyebrow, I like to use this brush 231 from MAC. It's so great. I think it's actually like a lip brush, but I use it for this because it's the perfect size to give me that highlight underneath my brow, just like that. So hopefully that helped, guys. And that really helped you guys determine on what brushes you need to grab. You can grab these at the MAC store, at Sephora, at Ulta. Ulta sells a lot of Morphe brushes and they are great. If you are wanting to get brushes, but you're like, oh my gosh, these brushes are so expensive, Morphe actually has dupes of all of these. And I'm gonna write all of these down in the description below, but you can literally get the dupes of all of these for a fraction of the cost. So, hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.